Do you need to sell your home and use that equity to purchase your next home? Stay tuned and I'll give you my tips and explain what options you have. Hi, James Yu with Think Real Estate here. So often I have clients that are in need to upsize or downsize or simply purchase a new home, but their cash is tied to their current home. If these situations sounds familiar to you, hopefully these tips and strategies will help you understand all the options you have in hand. Number one strategy is going out there in the market, finding a home and writing an offer contingent on the sale of your home. The problem is that it is really hard to get an offer accepted under this condition, because think about it, when a seller is trying to sell their house, imagine they fill in about 5 to 6 offers. These are all standard offers, right? Non-contingent offer. But imagine you make an offer contingent on selling your house. You're most likely not going to beat these other offers that are just straightforward, that are not contingent. This strategy could work if we're in a buyer's market, but in today's competitive seller's market, it is really going to be challenging. The second way of doing this is the other way around. Pretty much you get your home ready for sale, put it on the market, but you disclose saying that the sale of your house is contingent on you finding the next home. The only issue is that this could work in a seller's market. However, you might not attract as many buyers. It's because a lot of buyers out there understand how challenging the market it is right now to find a house. So it's kind of like they're gonna question, hey, how long is it gonna take for the seller to find their next house? So perhaps you might find it's a couple of desperate buyers, but at the end of the day, you might not achieve the highest sale using this strategy. Also, let's say you put a contract together like this and you find that house. By the time you find that house, which could take 3, 4, 5, 6 months, what would happen to, let's say the interest rate goes up and something like crazy happened in the market, and you don't know what would happen to the buyer in 5 months. So it's kind of risky in a sense where the interest rates might go up, which might price out the buyer that you accepted. And also, it's like Murphy's Law, right? After, let's say it takes you 5 to 6 months to find your next house, that this buyer after 5 to 6 months might not be in the same situation, whether it's financially or job security wise. The third option would be sell your house and rent the house back from the buyer for X amount of days or months. This is the most common strategy I'm seeing in the market. Pretty much, you close the sale of your house, you get that money, and and with that money you can now go out to buy your next house. And during that time span, you would lease the house back from the next buyer for typically what I'm seeing in the market is anywhere from 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I've seen up to 6 months in this current market. So during this time, you have the option to look for your second house. The only issue is that, let's say you do a lease back for 60 days, you may feel rushed in finding your next dream home. The fourth strategy is sell your house and find a short-term rental while you look for your next house. I like this strategy because it gives you the time and flexibility instead of feeling rushed like when you do a leaseback to find your dream home. You could be a little picky about it and you have all the cash for the down payment on your next house. As a fifth strategy is doing this thing called bridge loan. This requires a lender in between to navigate the whole deal. And you got to have equity in your current home, and also you actually have to qualify to get this bridge loan. What it is that a lender is involved and they pretty much check the equity of your house and front you cash so that you could go out there and purchase your next home. It's a short-term interest rate, which is about 6 months, maybe up to 12 months. So what they're doing is pretty much putting you in a position after they give you this money to sell your house within 6 months. Or else after 6 months, the money that they fronted you is gonna be due. So obviously, you gotta sell your house to pay them back, right? This strategy is gonna require you to talk to a really good creative lender. And I just wanted to tell you a case study recently we had was, we had a client pretty much owned the house free and clear, no mortgages. The house was worth about $5 million. And what she did was she went out there, found a house, but obviously, she doesn't have the cash right now. So what we did was we connected her with one of our preferred lender. And he pretty much was able to pull equity and front that money to my client so that the client was able to purchase this $2.5 million within 7 days. So as last couple tips is if you have some time flexibility where you're just thinking about this and you're not really thinking about moving right away, Perhaps you could talk to a lender about some of the, HELOCs, or even doing like a cash out refi if you have enough equity in your house. These are other couple options, financial options, that you can explore, so that with the money you get, you'll be able to purchase your next house and do other creative way of selling your house as well. That said, hopefully these tips helped you out today. Just like the sounds of it, it's not easy. It's a very complicated process. So I highly recommend you talk to a good realtor, as well as, find a really creative mortgage person if you're thinking about doing the bridge loan or HELOC or cash out refi. If you're based in LA and you're in the situation that we just talked about, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to sit down with you and discuss your options and what may be right for you.